Hey guys, welcome back to Boom Windsurfing, and this time I'm going to do a review of my new Severne sails, my new 2022 S1 wave sails, and also my 5.7 blade. Right, okay, let's get into this. So in front of me is my 2022 Severne Blade 5.7. Little bit of information about this. So I have been a massive Neil Pride sailor user for a long time, and made the decision last year to shift everything over to Severne for various reasons. So I went lock, stock and barrel. As you can see in front of you, I've got a blade here. The rest of my sails are S1 wave sails. And I've got the Severne Enigma boom here, and this is set on a 430 Severne blue mast, which I think is 95% carbon, but has the same bend characteristics of all of their other the masts in the range. But certainly this is the recommended mast for this sail, 430 blue mast. And as you can see, it sets beautifully. To be fair, I've just set this up to give it a clean because it was covered in sand and salt from having been away for a week. And so I've not got it fully downhauled, but just for demonstration purposes just now, you can see the sail sets beautifully on that mast, no doubt about it. So just moving a bit closer into the sail, the blade I went for in the 5.7. It's the biggest sail I've got. It's still there, it's still a wave sail, still very much a full-on wave sail. But for me, it's 5 batten, so I guess it has a bit more locked-in power, so better for the bigger size. It has the X-ply reinforcement in the window, which the S1s do not have. I think that's just part of the blades. To be honest, if it didn't have that, it wouldn't have put me off. But the 5 batten was what I wanted for the bigger sail, the biggest sail I've got. The laminate they're using in the 2022 sails is called VX2, so it's a vertical laminate, and I don't know if you can see that actually in the camera, if it's picking it up. Oh, you can. This is these vertical threads running up. So what Severne are maintaining is that this is going to give better performance to the sail, better performance to the sail over a longer period of time. It's lighter, and I think they've increased the skin tension of the sail, but decreased the weight, I believe, as well from previous years in this sail. So that's the kind of setup of the sail. Okay, so let's get into a few of the sort of the more finer details on the sail. Now, I am not sponsored by Severne. I do get all of my equipment from a shop in Cardiff in the UK called Pura Vida. I have a fantastic deal with Jim Brooks Dowsett and the shop there, where I get all my kit. And to be honest, it's a fantastic setup for me because I can work with a shop, people I trust, and Jim particularly, who really knows his stuff kit-wise. I'm not tied to any brands, and it's up to me what I want to sail. But I made the decision to go Severne, and Jim sorted me out with all my gear from the Severne guys, and it's been fantastic, which is really cool. So into some sort of finer details in the sail. And I'll just be directly honest here. If there's anything slightly, not negative, but constructive, negative, whatever you want to call it, I will be honest, and I will call it out on that basis. So I'm going to start with the tack. I'm going to get into some details. So the tack, the construction and the way the sail is made, I've got to say, is impressive. I think that I believe everything's double seamed, so they made efforts to make sure that the finish of the sail is really, really good. I guess the test of time will prove as to how sort of strong and how durable the sail is, and I'm really interested to see how it wears over time. My previous sails, all my Neil Pride Combats, I guess they wear pretty well, to be honest. I had them all for maybe a year at a time, maybe 2 years most. So this is going to be interesting. See how we get on. Tack's really good. You can see here, I'll do another video on this, but I also invested in a Severne Cyclops extension, which I have to say is absolutely fantastic. It's a really clever loop and go system. But like most sails these days, you've got a pocket for the downhaul to go into, and it neatly wraps up in there, which is cool. And then a nice little Velcro tab here to secure the tack and the foam protector tightly at the bottom. One thing I'm surprised that they haven't done is put a sort of slot into the base here for an outhaul, sorry, an uphaul to go. And I know it's a wave sail, maybe you technically don't need them, but you know, a lot of pro sailors have them on just in case, or it's always good to have something like that just in case. And so if I do have an outhaul on, then invariably I've got it sort of wrapped around the bottom here and up and to the bottom of the sail, which isn't particularly neat, but I guess it works, which is cool. Okay, so staying with the tack, there's a really clever little innovation I like here, that their Severne's hex tool, their multi-tool, is located down here in the sail, and that's the same in every single sail that they now supply. So they're all down here, and it's the same tool, the same hex screw head for batten tension, for the screws on your foot straps and the screws on the fin boxes on the Severne boards. So a very clever bit of tool that's always in your sail should you need to make any adjustments to move the foot straps, to adjust the batten tension, to you know, to move the fins as well. It's all in one place. I really like that, and it's already proven to be pretty handy for me. So I like the fact that it's in there. It has got a bottle opener as well for opening up beer bottles, which is cool. And it neatly stores away inside the tack in here, which is cool. So it's easy to store, and it's always there, and it doesn't get in the way. It doesn't fall out because it's got a really nice little Velcro tab. Okay, so on the clue here, you can see this is a nice little touch, I think. Just at a glance, okay, it's 176. So guess what? You can set the boom to 176, and in terms of how the sail's setting on 176, it's pretty good. I've tried to follow exactly what the dimensions have said there and thereabouts, depending upon the wind strength in terms of the downhaul, and also playing around with the outhaul a little bit, but mainly just following what the you know, the dimensions have said on the sail when I've set them up, when I've rigged them up, and I find that to be generally pretty good. Like I say, other than maybe I've had like a really windy day on a 4 meter, and I have you know, maybe applied a bit more downhaul than I would otherwise have done. The sails, like again, like most modern wave sails, are definitely setting with a tighter leech. So although I have, as I say, I haven't got the full amount of downhaul I would probably normally put on this just now, I wouldn't put an awful lot more on this unless it was really mega windy, and I probably shouldn't have been on the 5.7 at that point. Should probably be on a 5.2 or a 4.8 or something. But there's definitely more sort of skin tension in the sails, and I think that's something I've read about and watched a few videos about. The 2022 sails had a bit more skin tension than the previous years, which is cool. Okay, so I mentioned durability a minute or two ago. It's very early days for me in terms of being able to assess any durability on the sail or the sails. I got my sails in March, and it is April now, nearly the end of April 2022. So I've only had my sails for a month or so. I think I've used this 5.7 3 times. It's looking immaculate, no doubt about it. I am interested though to see how it ages, how it wears, just you know, what that wear will be like over time, and you know, we'll see how that goes. And I guess it'll be good to you know, do some videos to update on that, because people are interested in how do these sails you know, degrade over a time period. But so far, it's only had 3 uses. You know, it looks brand new, which it should do. Okay, final thing to talk about in the sail before I talk about the Enigma boom, because I've got to talk about the Enigma boom, is the luff, and the luff panel particularly in here, and it's made of Dacron. Now, when I was reading about the sails last year and making my mind up that I was going to go for the S1s and the Blade, they all have this Dacron panel at the front, and I was interested in that. I thought, wow, that's a bit old school, it felt to me. But do you know what? It really works. It does definitely set when you've got the sail like this, you know, set on the beach or in my garden, as in this case, with a bit of looseness in the luff. And that's exactly what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to be set a little bit loose, and it allows depowering the sail much more easily. It allows you to depower the sail if you're on manoeuvres. It creates a little bit of softness in the sail. There's more softness in the S1s than there is in the Blades. That's definitely what they're designed for. This is a 5 batten sail. The S1 is a 4 batten sail. But I actually really like this Dacron panel. I think it is. I think it's a good idea. I've definitely been able to, to back the sail off very easily because of that sort of material there in the luff. It's pretty cool. Again, though, it will be interesting to see how this wears. We've all seen old Dacron sails in the past already. I guess there's some sort of crazing just going on there on the material, but that's to be expected, I guess, for that kind of material. But we'll see how that wears over the forthcoming year. And again, I'll do updates in the future to see how the sail's looking. All right, so to finish off this review on the Blade, it would be, this is not about the sail, obviously, this is about the boom I'm going to mention here, but it would be remiss of me not to talk about the Severne Enigma boom. So when I went to move to Severne and decided I was going to go for the Blade, F57 and the rest of the sails as S1s, and get the right masts as well to go with the sails so that everything was set up properly, I thought, do you know what, I need to make the investment and get an Enigma boom. They are undoubtedly very expensive. There's no question of that. Wherever you are in the world buying one of these booms, they cost a lot of money. What I did was I bought one boom that would cover me for the sails I have. So I've got the 5.7 Blade, and then I've got 5.2, 4.8, 4.4 and 4 meter in the S1s. So this boom is the 150. This is the 150 Enigma, which goes from 150 to 200, I think it is. Therefore I'm covered with this boom in terms of all the sails that I've got. Now, I've got other booms. I've got another carbon boom, which is also very good, I have to say. However, I'm going to be deadly honest with this. I guess it's expensive for a reason. It is so light, it's unbelievable. It's incredibly light, very impressive. It is so stiff, it's unbelievable. It is the stiffest boom I've used, and even if I shake it, you can't get an idea. It's absolutely rock solid, this thing. It's just fantastic. I also like the sort of the length of the clamp. It's got a very long clamp on it, that grips the mast. This has all been designed around, their sails, their masts. It just works. It's very clever. It's very, very good. I think the clips at the back end of the boom fairly standard now with a lot of manufacturers, and the same with the actual clue, cleat. It's very similar to a lot of manufacturers as well. Very sort of neat and tidy with a loop and go system, which is good. But for me, this boom is a bit of a game changer. I've noticed a big difference in the performance of the boom, just in the stiffness. And like a lot of people, I put my kit through, quite a lot of hard abuse, and I need something that's really sort of strong and going to stand up to that. And I think this boom is fantastic. So I'm really, really impressed with that. I'll do a more in-depth review on what the sail is like to sail with in the future, but I mean, just as a general comment, as I say, I've used this 3 times, so it's still early days, but from a sort of plug and play perspective, first time I used it and then subsequent times, it's been fantastic. I can really tune the sail. It is more powerful, sort of locked in feel than the S1, but it's I can still depower it because of this Dacron panel. It's super light. I think everyone I hear talking about Severne sails says, oh, they're so light, they're so light. When you use them, particularly when you've got them set up with a Severne mast, and in this case the Severne Enigma boom, which is also very light, it's very, very light in the hands, and it's just fantastic to have that such lightweight kit. And I really noticed that, and I'm really enjoying that sort of the lightness of the kit. I think it makes a massive difference. I didn't go for a carbon Cyclops extension. I went for the aluminium one. I didn't really see much benefit in the carbon one. To be honest, I can't remember the exact weight difference in numbers, but I think it's something like half a bag of sugar or a pack of butter or something like that is the difference between the carbon and the aluminium. And for me, that's fine. So there you go. That's my sort of review of the 2022 Blade in terms of its technical setup, material they're using, the construction of the sail, 5 battens, the components, how it's sort of put together, what it looks like, the material, and watch this space in terms of updates on its durability and how I get on as I put it through its paces over the forthcoming year. Okay, so for completeness, here is my Severne S152. So the same VX2 laminate spider fibre construction as the Blade, as you can see from the layout of the sail and the sail material. It is 4 battens instead of 5 battens. It's aimed, it's a dedicated wave sail. I guess the Blade's a dedicated wave sail. This is just slightly more manoeuvre oriented, being 4 battens and a bit softer. And from my experience at sailing with the S1 compared to the Blade, yeah, it's definitely more manoeuvrable. It's a bit softer. It's more playful. Really impressive actually when you open the sail up and go clew first wave riding. There's loads of power down by the clew. It feels really nice down there, down where my dog is currently licking the sail at the moment, licking the water off the sail, and that feels great when you're really opening the sail up and opening the sail up to go clew first. So it's interesting that they have engineered the sail that way. I think Jaeger Stone really likes to sort of sail that way and really get loads of power into the clew of the sail. So I guess it's kind of been engineered that way. Really, I won't repeat all of the different components in the sail that I've sort of shown in the previous clips on the Blade, because it's exactly the same in terms of how the sail is put together, in terms of how the sail is constructed, in terms of the all the attributes, both at the tack and the clew and so on. It's exactly the same. I guess the main difference, apart from it being more manoeuvre oriented and being 4 batten instead of 5, is that the S1 has a see-through window, so it doesn't have the X-ply in the window, which I guess being a more dedicated wave sail, and one could argue that the better visibility, but I guess it's fine. Again, this will be really interesting to see how this fares durability wise over the next year or two for me. My plan is to keep all of my kit now in a 2-year rotation, which I got, as I say, I got all of this new kit in March this year, and I plan to rotate everything after 2 years. That's my plan. It'll be really interesting to see how that pans out. If you've got feedback on the Severne sails and their durability, please share your comments. I'd be really interested to hear your views on that. Again, I guess that will all be really good feedback for Severne as well, who I know will be interested in that. I have this rigged on on a 400 Severne Gorilla mast. They're G2, I think it is. I got this mast to go with this sail and the 4.8 S1, and again, I think that is 75% carbon, but again, the same flex dynamics as the blue Severne mast and also their red mast. So all of their masts have the same flex dynamics, they just have a different layup. The Gorilla masts, which of this is one, is are heavier duty, so they're built more for wave sailing, and I've already had a few interesting stacks in the waves, decent sized waves, and it's been pretty interesting, and the kit's been perfect. So I guess the masts are doing their job. So there you go. I hope that's useful, interesting. S1, just to summarize, I'll do a full review on how they sail and how they feel, but certainly having sailed the 5.2 and the 4 meter in the S1 since I got them in the last few weeks, I've been mega impressed. Really, really tunable, loads of power, really impressive actually in terms of the power, loads of power, but also really easy to depower, really easy with this Dacron luff to make the sail soft and to sail it soft as and when you want to depower it. It's really cool. So there you go. I hope that is interesting, and if you've got any comments, then please feel free to stick them in the comments section below, and I'll respond accordingly. All right, cheers.